It's hard to get reliable statistics on just how many military veterans are homeless at any given time. Estimates range from about 65,000 to more than 200,000, with many more dependent on government programs to pay for food, rent, and other necessities. In New York City, as many as 40% of veterans may be on food assistance, but cold statistics don't move people's hearts. I'm PJTV's Scott Ott, joined now by Bill Whittle and Stephen Green. And men, Rob Bliss told me this morning that he typically makes fun videos, but he decided to turn his skills to a good cause. He contacted Dégagé Ministries in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and said he wanted a homeless military veteran who wants to make a change to undergo a physical transformation before our very eyes. And the result has gone viral. That's a clip from the full video, which is about 3 minutes long, that you can see online. You know, I also spoke with Marge Palmerly of Dégagé Ministries this morning. She said she's known Army veteran Jim Wolf for 12 years. He's always struggled with alcoholism and poverty, but he volunteered for this little experiment. Now, Bill Whittle, what did you think when you first saw this video? Just your gut reaction.
Well, first of all, it was beautiful and moving. My second thought was, boy, I don't know what this guy faced in combat, but in terms of human courage, having little things of foil put on your head on camera in front of the entire nation, and you know, it's going to rank up there in terms of courage for a man of that background. You know, Scotty, I have a very strong feeling about this particular subject, and I think the answer is exactly what we should always do as Americans and as conservatives especially, and just live up to our belief system. I don't think the answer is more government programs for these people that have defended our freedoms. I think the answer is for every single American family to ask itself very seriously, very personally, whether or not they can afford to adopt one of these individuals into their homes long enough to get them back on their feet. I actually think that's the only answer that works for me emotionally, it works for me politically, it works for me spiritually, it works for me patriotically, and I think it's the only thing that will work for these guys too. You know, government program is just more assistance to guys who are really in a lot of trouble emotionally. And I think we owe it to them. And furthermore, I think it'd be an honor and a privilege for an American family to adopt a serviceman, not forever, because neither side thinks this needs to be forever. Literally bring them into your homes, get them cleaned up, get them some meals, get them a place to stay, help them go find a job long enough till they're on their feet, then get them back out in the world where they belong. God knows they've earned it.
Well, Stephen Green, Marge told me that Dégagé Ministries sees 400 to 500 people per day, helping them with access to jobs, transportation, medical, dental, and optical care, overnight shelter, hygiene, and a lot more. Why do you think this one man's 3-minute story has such impact?
Well, you see it. You know, Scott, you were saying in your intro that numbers and statistics don't grab the heart. They don't tell a story. They don't move people. Well, this is a story. You are watching this happen. You are seeing in maybe not in real time, but in high speed time, this homeless man turn into somebody who looks like a gentleman, somebody who looks like he's ready to take on that world, somebody who makes you think not of the homeless guy on the street, but the guy who was that young soldier 20 years ago, 30 years ago, however long ago it was. He's still there. He's still in there. He just needed a little help coming out. And when you see that happen, that's an incredible, incredible moving thing.
Well, Bill, video maker Rob Bliss told me that $50,000 is poured into Dégagé Ministries in just 6 days since the video went live. Marge, who runs the ministry, told me she's heard from people in every state and 19 countries. She herself, she said, has been deeply moved by the people who say the video has spurred them to do something in their own community. Is there a lesson in this for Republicans, conservatives, libertarians, and others like us who constantly call for smaller government, decry the harm done by entitlement programs?
There's a lesson for all Americans in this, Scotty. It's not about conservatives or liberals or anybody. It's about Americans. This guy went over to sign on the dotted line, was deployed overseas, fought to defend the freedoms that we all share as Americans, no matter how we disagree. We have an obligation to these people. We owe them this. And the thing about seeing this man transformed, really, not to put too fine a point on it, but what you see when he sits down is a homeless guy, and what you see when he leaves is an employable, capable, functioning citizen who's got some sense of his self-respect back. And he didn't lose his self-respect on purpose. God only knows what happened to him over there on our behalf. But we owe these people. This is our obligations, not theirs. It's not like they're asking for a handout. We're the people. Look, they paid in advance, is what I'm trying to say. This is not an obligation that they're asking for. They're not asking for a handout. They've paid in advance. We owe them. It's our obligation to take care of these people, and I love the way they're doing it, and I wish them all the best, and I think we ought to start programs like this all across the country.
Well, Steve, Marge and Rob both told me that no one should look at Jim Wolf's physical transformation and assume that the tough times are all behind him now. As Rob said, quote, "It's not the finish line for Jim, it's just the first corner turned." Do you think individual Americans have the patience it takes to, as Bill suggested, walk with a man like Jim Wolf through years of struggle? Or would we rather just outsource that kind of painful personal compassion to our friends in government?
Well, you know, we've done that. We've spent the last 50, 60, 100 years doing that in increasing measures, and the situation hasn't gotten better, and in many cases it's gotten worse. And I'm not just talking about veterans here. I'm talking about all sorts of human dependency on the federal government or the state government. But you know what? You know what this reminds me of in a strange way? You did a segment during the election year on that Romney ad showing the family not talking over the dinner table. The father is obviously unemployed. He's wearing rumpled clothes. He's unshaven. And you know, you're supposed to dress for the job, not the job you have, but the job you want. And you feel in part the way that you present yourself. And we watch this man. Who knows if he's really going to make it, but we watch this man turn into a vagrant to a guy I'd be proud to call sir at my place of employment. That's a remarkable first step, and I've got all my thoughts and prayers going with this guy.
Well, Dégagé Ministries tries to reflect the love of Jesus Christ to all who come through their doors, and by building relationships and offering programs that foster dignity. They actually charge a small fee to their patrons for food in their restaurant, use of laundry machines and locker rentals, and necessities such as socks and t-shirts. If the patron has no money, the ministry offers 40 different ways they can work to earn Dégagé dollars to pay their own way. As it says at dégagéministries.org, charging for services promotes habits of self-sufficiency and affirms an individual's ability to care for him or herself. As Marge Palmerly told me on the phone this morning, nobody feels so poor as when they have nothing to give. You know, I remarked to Marge that all that Jim Wolf needs now to complete his new look is a trip to the dentist. She said, he's going to the dentist tomorrow. For Bill Whittle, Stephen Green, and the entire Trifecta crew at PJTV.com, I'm Scott Ott.